everybody, welcome back to the Fumble Live. Yesterday was absolutely chaotic, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that, but we're also filling you in on some other sports news like the NBA MVP conversations, which are already happening. It's way too early, but we got to get into this. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, share it with your friends. Now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward, and I just realized we're not totally matching, but I'm wearing this like pink color, Britt's wearing a burgundy, Jackie's in the middle and black and white, so we work today. I like it. So anyway, you guys, I'm Devin Howard.
We coordinate. What's up, everybody? I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at JRayTheFanatic.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Britt. You guys can follow me on all social media at IamBrittJohnson.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened yesterday, and we're also going to discuss some comparisons that are being drawn between the mob of people that went and stormed the Capitol building yesterday and Colin Kaepernick and the various responses to both of those situations. So obviously, as I'm sure everybody knows, a giant violent group of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building yesterday. It was chaotic. It was crazy. There are people that are dead. There are people that have been injured. It's just absolutely wild. And all the while, Donald Trump was sitting on his phone and tweeting and sending out videos and messages that didn't condemn what was going on. He said that I love you and you're special. Please, keep it peaceful. That's the way he was responding to it, which was shocking and alarming considering he's had a years-long attack on Colin Kaepernick for doing something that was actually peaceful, kneeling. So it's just the differences between the way he's reacting to these situations is just wild to me. People were calling it out, like this tweet right here that says, "How is this disrespectful to the country, but not this?" The NAACP tweeted, "And you thought taking a knee was too much." People were just asking how kneeling was disrespectful, but shattering windows and endangering the lives of so many people was not. So many people on social media yesterday called out the Trump administration's response to the rioters at the Capitol, saying that the police response would have been profoundly different if they had been people of color or including Black Lives Matter protesters. So, I mean, it's just wild to point out the differences. So, Jackie, I just wanted to talk to you. What is your response to all of this? People are always bringing up Colin Kaepernick as this comparison. Can't get my words out. What would you like to add?
I mean, if you are over the age of 13 in this country and you haven't gotten the clue that Black people live in an entirely different America than white people, then you're a little late to the game and you're probably a little willfully ignorant and you are actively being part of the problem. So I understand people making the comparison. As a Black woman, though, when we got the notification, Britt actually was the first one who sent it, and she was like, in the middle of my Britt's takes, this is what's happening. And I was like, I'm actually really proud because I have been saying that this was going to happen. I've been saying that you keep pouring gasoline on a fire, it's going to explode at some point. And I don't know if you guys saw the rally that happened before this, but Giuliani literally called for violence. Trump Jr. said it's no longer the Republican Party, it's Donald Trump's Republican Party, which I thought was a profound statement because a lot of these Republicans have done so much that regardless of the new president, how are they going to backtrack on all that? You know what I mean? You in the trenches now. So I wasn't at all surprised to see this. And I think in our group chat, I even said, I think Trump let him in, which is effectively what he did, because I don't know if you guys saw the video of the officer that was just politely saying, "Hey, can you stop? Can you stop?" He had a gun, he had a taser, he had a baton. He didn't use any of them. If that had been Black Lives Matter, the street would still be burning. They would still be pulling bodies off the street. Tanks would have been rolling down Pennsylvania. Like, it just would have been a whole different scenario. But white people live in a different America than we do, so they basically can just go in and sit at Pelosi's desk and take pictures with their phones and do all of these things. We cannot. Black people, we cannot do that. I just want to get that message to y'all right now. If y'all are thinking, hey, let's go. No, you cannot do that. You will die. Muslim people, no, you cannot do that. You will die. So I understand that people are saying, well, damn, Colin Kaepernick just took a knee. Y'all knew it then. You knew when it was happening that we lived in a different America. So don't act all surprised and bewildered right now. It's been like this. So not surprised at all. It is what it is. And that's just the America we live in.
Right. And I agree with you 100% on that. There were police escorting people out of there, like holding on to
them. Yeah, by the hand. I saw them hold a lady by the hand and, escort her down. I saw another group of people that they were just saying, hey, can you please leave? Can you please leave? Trump issues a statement that says, hey, I know that these people that we're fighting against is evil. Who are these evil people you are speaking of? Because ain't nobody storming the castle but y'all. So, you know what I mean? It's this very clear cut. And that's the only thing I do appreciate about Donald Trump. I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I love the fact that he has made the color lines very apparent. You can no longer say you don't understand. He has made the color lines very apparent, and he has made people who are racist feel comfortable in being open with their racism. And I personally would rather know somebody is racist off top than to find that out later. So that is an upside to the whole Trump administration.
Yeah, I guess that is a positive, is that at least the people who want to be on the wrong side of history. Going back to just Colin Kaepernick and kneeling, I feel like seeing everything that's been going on puts it into perspective. The people that made this big, giant deal out of him taking a knee, I hope that they're realizing now that was such a peaceful way to stand up for what you believe in, or what he believes in, what we believe in. So I don't know, it's wild to me. Britt, is there anything that you would like to add about the double standard that we see so often in terms of how people reacted to Colin Kaepernick and then how people are reacting to these rioters yesterday?
Well, to start, they're not rioters, they are terrorists. I was so many times, NBC and stuff was just saying terrorists. CNN switched and they were calling them domestic terrorists. They're they're not rioters, they're not protesters, they're not looters, they're terrorists. This is not Burger King that they're looting and rioting in. This is literally the Capitol building of this nation. It's so and to go back to Burger King, when we saw somebody get shot and killed in a Burger King, and then Black people went and rioted at that Burger King, and those cops were there with guns, literally shooting people and doing this, that, and the third, and throwing tear gas and stuff, and that was a Burger King. We're talking about the Capitol building here of this country, which has not been invaded since 1812, and oh my gosh, could you imagine all the terrorists in the world now thinking, if it's that easy to go into that building, hey, I might get some ideas. Because literally we looked so silly, so misinformed. How do you not even have that? We already knew what was going to happen yesterday, because the day before, when we went into the nighttime, the voting was at 98%, and already the two Democratic senators looked like they were going to win. We knew the next day was going to be the day where we decided, or all the senators and House members were going to be voting on if each state was a rigged election, whatever. They knew that was going to happen. So why was the National Guard not called out then, but then Black Lives Matter just standing there regularly protesting at those same steps months before you guys want to call all these National Guards? The mayor of DC asked for 200 additional National Guards and was denied her request by the defense, or the defense in this country. So I don't understand why. I don't understand how. I don't understand. I don't know if you guys saw the video of like Jackie was talking about the police literally removing the brigade and letting them just run in. How does this happen? The people that felt that Colin Kaepernick's stuff was unjust are seeing it now, because those people were the ones that were the terrorists yesterday. So no, they don't see it. No, they don't They think they really are the patriots of this country, and they're saving this country from all of us. And they really do think that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Handmaid's Tales, but that's how this all
girl.
starts.
Facts.
It's exactly how it all starts.
The embarrassing part about this is I saw all over social media people saying, oh, well, they knew Black Lives Matter was coming. Yes, because it was an organized protest and we did things the right way. We got the permits and did what we were supposed to do to notify people. But let's keep in mind this too. The leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Torino or whatever his name is, he posted on Parler the week before that he was going to be there. He said that the Proud Boys were going and they were going to go in record numbers and they were going to add a twist and they were basically going to turn up. On top of that, he was arrested in D.C. on Monday for vandalizing a historically Black church. They knew they was coming. Yeah. They didn't care. Yeah. They didn't care because it wasn't people of color. It wasn't Black people. It wasn't Muslims. It wasn't Mexicans. So they was like, what's the worst that could happen? And this is what happens.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is, like, I don't know if you guys saw the crazy video of the girl that got shot and ended up dying right there, but like in the same thing, I remember hearing people in the background of that video like, oh, there's an active shooter, they're shooting at us. What do you think is supposed to happen when you guys attack the Capitol building? That is literally white privilege right there. You literally thought you could go into that building and do whatever the heck you want, chase this Black police officer that is alone by himself down the thing on camera, post all these pictures. Nobody had any, like, these people are worse than the KKK because at least the KKK was scared enough to wear a mask and wear a hood over their head. These people are hoodless, maskless, literally maskless even during a pandemic. Like, just taking pictures, hanging out, like, knowing that their white privilege knows that nothing is going to happen to them in these situations. That's how separate this country is. That's how different it is for people of color in this country and white people, that white people literally knew that they could go in there, show their faces, take selfies with police officers, and not a darn thing was going to happen to them. That is white privilege.
Oh, gosh, I know. And you know what, like Jackie, you were saying, at least there's so much attention that's being put on all of these different inequalities that we're facing in our country today and that we've been facing for a very long time. So, at least that is the positive in all of this. We're all able to acknowledge where improvement desperately needs to happen, and hopefully that improvement does happen soon. We're going to get into what athletes are saying about everything that went down yesterday in the post-up, but for now I want to switch gears a little bit, get off of this political update and go into those NBA MVP conversations that I teased at the top of the show. So let's get into it. Yesterday we were discussing how people are making too drastic of predictions about I can hear someone typing really loud. I don't know if anyone else can hear that too. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, it's been clicking.
I got something to say.
I love it, and I love reading what you two are saying in there. I can't type and talk at the same time, so I'm not able to say anything or read anything that well. But anyway, yesterday we got into how people are getting a little too ahead of themselves with these predictions about which teams are going to be in the finals, which athletes' careers are over, and all of that. But now people are already getting into the MVP race. Can't say I'm surprised that people are getting ahead of themselves in this way, but right now we have two big men leading the way. This year's MVP race is all about Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. So Joel is considered the front runner at this point. The 76ers have outscored their opponents by an average of 21.6 points per 100 possessions with Joel on the floor, and he's putting up some great individual numbers that are kind of speaking to how he is contributing to all of that. Nikola Jokic, his offensive numbers are pretty wild right now. Through 7 games, he's averaging a triple-double and leading the league in assists. So, two big men. It feels like the days of small ball are over. So, Britt, I want to ask you about that. I can see you shaking your head there. Do you feel that the fact that these two names are dominating MVP conversations shows that small ball is officially done?
Small ball never began. Let's start off there. This was never a thing where small ball was just going to work across the board. But this, I I wish we had like a research team that archives all our stuff and could go back to when I said this. I said at the beginning of the season, or before the season began, before the draft began, I liked the big men in the drafts. I thought the big men were coming back. I talked about the first, NBA contract that was ever over $100 million was a power forward, was a big guy. So, I literally said, I believe in the big men. I think the big men are making a comeback. I think those are going to end up being, the stars of the show. And that is what we're seeing in these moments. Like people, I think because of what happened with the Houston Rockets and their big man being a 6'5" guy, everyone kind of probably took a step back and realized like, okay, well, what big man do I have on my team that's like been helping out, and what teams that have been successful have done it without a big man? Oh, not too many, and the big man is like a crucial part, whether it's a 4 or 5, like it doesn't even necessarily have to be a center. Like a good power forward, like an Anthony Davis or something like that is still considered a big man in my eyes. In most people's eyes, it should be. But the big men, I think, are really making a comeback. Like for a while, everybody was all about those shooting guards and whatever, when especially that Steph and Clay mix. But I think the big men they're just crucial. There's a lot of players that can play that 1 through 4 spot, but there's very few people that can even play a 5, and sometimes very few people that can play a 4. So I think those people we see sprinkled throughout the league, and there's not a ton of great ones, because how often do you find like a big guy that can also shoot and can also, take the ball at least down the field if he needs to in a moment, and so to see a really good big guy and to get a really good big guy is clutch, which is why James Wiseman was taken so high in the draft. And I think that like moving forward, we are going to see, teams starting to gun again for those big guys. But I said it, I called it. So this is not like a surprise to me. Now, again, as far as the MVP race is concerned, none of this stuff that's happening right now, I don't think is going to necessarily mean it's going to be the case at the end of the year. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a big man in, those 3 spots for the candidates for NBA MVP.
And then Jackie, I want to talk to you. Do you think, what are your thoughts on Jokic and Joel leading these MVP conversations? Do you have any thoughts about this? Or do you want to put a bet on anybody? I know probably not, but I just had to ask. Oh, you're muted.
I don't actually think it'll come down to one of them. But it's I said this yesterday, like we're 8 games in now. Yesterday we were 7 games in, today we're 8. I am not remotely ready. I'm always going to put LeBron in the conversation. So if you want me to make a bet on something, I'll put LeBron on there for you. But I mean, I'm not remotely ready to put a bet on anything. We live in a world where we literally saw Bradley Beal put up 60 points. Russell put up 20 and they still lost. So I got a lot of stuff that I got to figure out in this basketball world before I start throwing names into the hat of who I think is going to win MVP. So I'm just not ready yet. I think it's too early for all of this.
Do you think that potentially a big man could be in the 3 candidates though?
I'm with you on this, Britt. Like the whole big men should have always been in a candidate for this, because big men, like you said, if they can shoot and stuff, Steph is really the one that kind of changed the game for that. And all of a sudden he, I say that all the time, you got to give that man his respect, because he not only changed the game, he changed how we look at the game, how we perceive the game. So he's the one that kind of ignited that whole thing. So I think a big man is always supposed to be, in the running for this. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Britt. It will be a big man, and if it's not, then I'm gonna be like, okay, here we go again with this popularity contest. But it should definitely be a big man this year.
I guess we should manage expectations though, because it will be a popularity contest. So
right.
Let's get excited about anything changing. Really, that's always how it is. But that wraps up Need to Know News. So Jackie, can you take us into the post up?
Yes, I am excited for the post up, because I see some of y'all in the chat are mad. You about to be a little bit more upset, and I am happy to oblige you on that. So let's get to this post up. Folks in DC is Crazy Edition. I know a lot of you always say, let's keep politics out of sports. I think that is the dumbest thing that anyone could possibly say, because everything that happens in politics affects each and every one of us. Everything that happened yesterday affects each and every one of us. I have already talked about how the Proud Boys made it known that they wanted to go. You guys are in the chat saying a bunch of ignorant comments about Black Lives Matter that would which makes me understand that your social media feed is definitely more towards the white privilege side, and then it kind of reinforces those views in you versus really doing your own research and understanding what Black Lives Matter means. So with that in mind, I want to say that not all heroes wear capes, and I'm really proud of what Jaylen Brown had to say after the Celtics win over the Heat last night. So take a listen to what he had to say.
Before we get started, we definitely want to speak to some of the things that's been going on in our society. It reminds me of what Dr. Martin Luther King has said, that there is two split different Americas. In one America, you get killed by sleeping in your car, selling cigarettes, or playing in your backyard. And in another America, you get to storm the Capitol, and no tear gas, no massive arrests, no none of that. So I think it's obvious. It's 2021. I don't think anything has changed. We want to still acknowledge that. We want to still push for the change that we're looking for. But as of yet, we have not seen it. We want to continue to keep conversations alive and do our part.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. I saw someone in the chat say, stop race baiting. If you think I'm race baiting, then you must have just gotten your green card yesterday and you're brand new to this country, because race has always been an issue in this country, and it will always be an issue in this country because we have yet to atone for our racist past, and we have yet to try to move forward and make change in this country. And I think a lot of times people often forget that one of the major reasons that the police were even created were to catch runaway slaves and bring them back to their racist owners. It's one of the reasons why Black people face a different interaction with cops nowadays than a lot of white people. We don't talk about these things because Black people, we've kind of been trained to not say anything that's going to make white people uncomfortable. So here's another person that I'm proud of, because Draymond Green decided, no, I'm not going to code switch. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what it is and stop being disrespectful and calling these people protesters when they are terrorists. So take a listen to what he had to say.
It just goes to show the policing system was built against Black people, Black and brown people. And that's the reason those reactions are different. That's the reason someone can walk or run or bust their way through or whatever into the Speaker of the House office and put their feet on the desk like they're sitting at home on their couch, storming into a building and busting out windows and carrying podiums and all that other stuff. That's not a protest. That's a terrorist attack. And so stop using stop describing those people the same way you describe someone who just stand there and make a chant and say, we want justice, we want peace. Stop using the same word. It's disrespectful, it's ridiculous. And it's shameful, to keep calling them protesters. Not fucking protesters, they're fucking terrorists.
Amen, Draymond, and that broadcasting career is going to be really good for him. I love this moment for him, and I love how he spoke with that, because that was just straight facts. And I don't know if you guys saw, but yesterday both Facebook and Twitter decided to time out Trump for at least 12 hours. But this morning, it's 4 years too late. But this morning, Facebook has finally put a permanent ban on Trump. He can no longer be on Facebook, which I thought was fantastic. Clay Thomas was also sitting at home watching all of this go down, and he found the perfect tweet, perfect meme, if you will, for Donald Trump, because this is exactly what he does. He sits in the corner with a dunce hat on, because he's an idiot, and does all these tweets. But I love how the shadow just makes him look like a complete Klansman. Clay for the win on this one, because that was fantastic. I love this Twitter user who kind of gave him that head nod, like, yeah, Clay's out here finding the perfect meme. He don't miss. I love that. So well done, Clay. I love that. Again, this has just been a crazy thing, and I find it kind of a little bit sad, because we are always itching for a fantastic soundbite from Kawhi, which we never get. We'll get like the one-word answer or a little weird little laugh. But this moment yesterday has now got the claw speaking out as well, and we never hear that. So take a look at what he had to say.
You see the privilege. You see the privilege in America. And it's sad to see, because if any of us was out there, I think would have been tear gas, mace, probably gunshots, So, yeah.
He still didn't say a lot, but for Kawhi, that was a lot. And that just goes to show the effects and how we definitely see the double standards of what's happening in this country, which is crazy. There were some moments yesterday that I thought were straight comedy. Some of them were scary, but there were a lot of them that were straight comedy. D Wade took a moment to respond to a woman and her level of privilege because she just couldn't believe she got maced in the face. The response that the Twitter user that he trolled, that post was actually deleted on Twitter, so I had to go onto Instagram and find it. So take a look at this next one because this level of privilege is hilarious to me. Take a look.
I made it like a foot inside and they pushed me out and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
I see you in the chat. Britt said it's the piano scarf for me. You are not ready to storm.
You ain't storming nobody's Capitol wearing a piano scarf, sis. Come on. At least wear the right gear. Wear the right gear.
Yo, this had me in so many tears when I saw it. First of all, she said her name and where she's from. You, girl, if they decide to prosecute anybody, they're going to come right to your door with all that facial recognition. Now, if you'd have worn your mask and practiced social distancing, stayed away from the cameraman, you wouldn't be getting that knock on your door that's coming. But sis literally is like, oh my God, they maced me in the face. She was so appalled by that. And I literally was in tears when I saw that. Dwayne Wade, the real Dwayne Wade, I know I messed it up earlier this week, not Dean Wade, Dwayne Wade, he said, she couldn't believe she got maced breaking into the Capitol. Poor Elizabeth. So sad. I just want to understand. I have to take a moment. How do you get there? How do you arrive at let me be upset that I got maced for storming the Capitol? Devin, help me make this make sense. I just want to go to both of you. Like how, I know she's delusional. Clearly she's delusional, but that's a lot.
I think she was drunk or just completely moronic. I have no idea. I don't know how you act like I just got maced. Like, just shut up. What is your problem, weirdo? I don't have an answer for you, Jackie. I'm sorry.
I think that my favorite part, Britt, this one's for you. I think my favorite part was her man holding her. Like, can you believe they did this to my girl? Like,
I feel like we came up with, like, this has to be, like, we're in a new year. Like, maybe Karen needs to retire and we need to replace it with Elizabeth because Elizabeth is like... Oh, sis.
Yeah.
I just yes, like this is like, and then she's like, "What do you mean? It's a revolution!" Like it's just like, what a revolution? What? This whole thing was just like, it's a gem. It's just like really like, and I'm just like, I can't. I have no words.
Yeah, I when I saw the piano scarf, I was right there with you, Britt. I'm like, yo, of all the gear that I'm going to wear to go storm the castle, I can't say a piano scarf is it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to have my whole face covered. I'm going to go in there full fatigues. There were some people that had that.
I never had no intentions when we were doing like the Black Lives Matter protest, but I'm like, because I'm, this is for Black Lives Matter and I'm Black, we automatically were like, okay, we got to make sure we have sneakers on. We carried milk in our backpacks. We were ready because we're like, even though we're going to be peaceful and we're going to be whatever, like we had our, workout pants on, hoodies on, like I had a bandana around my face. Like everybody wore glasses, even if the sun wasn't out, just to make sure if you did the mace, it just didn't hit right there. Like everybody came suited and booted to every Black Lives Matter protest. And none of them were riots, and none of them were freaking terrorizing the Capitol building, and we came prepared. Still we came prepared, but she knew in her head nothing was going to happen to her, and she wore a piano scarf. And sis, you got maced.
Yeah, the first one I went to a protest by myself, and I was only by myself for like 3 steps into that march, and then 2 girls came up to me. They're, you by yourself? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, what you got in your backpack? I was like, I got milk and I got glasses. And she was like, okay, I got gloves in case they throw tear gas so I can catch it and throw it back. Like, so the 3 of us just walked together, but we was ready. I was like, I got a friend on speed dial. If I need bail money, I'm ready to go. So you're right. That piano scarf does not scream, I'm ready to storm the Capitol, because you would just assume that there's going to be police in the Capitol that are going to, I don't know, stop you. But all right, let's get into this next one, because I know a lot of you guys are waiting for this because it's actually quite interesting, and I definitely want to have a conversation about it. But the Pistons-Bucks games, or the Bucks-Pistons game yesterday, it started one way and it ended another. It started like this. So tip-off happens. Both teams come together in unity and they take a knee. They took a knee for a few seconds, and then Pistons got the ball, and then the Pistons took a knee on their possession as well. All the coaching staff took a knee, and it was really just a really special moment of solidarity and showing that, you know, these are athletes. And like I said before, you can't keep politics out of sports because politics affect us all. So they're just continuing their move for social justice and social change. And it was a very, very beautiful moment. And I applaud them very much for doing that. Not surprised, because we all know that Giannis is about that life. He has definitely been out marching. And so not surprised at all that this happened. But now you fast forward to the end of the game, right? So Giannis scores 25 points. The Bucks win by 15 points. And then this happens. And it's like, well, wait a minute. We just had some unity. What's going on here? But this was interesting to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Pistons did start to play Giannis very physical towards the end of the game, and obviously he had a problem with that. So he walks up and he gets in the rookie's face. He gets into Isaiah's face. Stewart is only 19 years old, number one. So I'm like, yo, Giannis, you know, stand down. I appreciate Isaiah, though, because he did not back down. Let it play for just a second, though, Leo, because there's one other part that I love in this. Because look at that. Who's that? That's Blake. Blake is over there like, no, be like me. Just laugh in his face. Remember when I laughed just laugh in his face. Why are you getting in his face? Blake didn't want no parts of that. I thought this was an interesting twist versus how they started and how they ended. Obviously, Giannis and Blake had a moment where he's like, oh, you're right. But Britt, I'm going to go to you first. How do you feel about the reigning 2-time MVP kind of getting in someone's face like this?
I honestly, I love it, because he also last year was the Defensive Player of the Year, and people gave him a lot of flack for that and thought he didn't deserve it and whatever. Well, this year he's like, fine. Oh, y'all want to play with me? I'm not going to be nice all the time anymore, because we all know Giannis is the nice guy that wants to kumbaya. When you said
right
towards the end of the game, he was getting a little, more defensive, a little rougher on that side. You can't just turn that off. That's not something that just gets turned off. And he was probably still in the zone. Little thing happened. Like, you in the big league now, my guy. So you got to go with the big boys. So and that is good that he didn't stand down or whatever. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, and that's going to happen to you probably on several more occasions this season, especially if you're a talker. But yeah, I like this from Giannis. I like seeing this side of Giannis, because last year he got a lot of criticism for not being that guy, being always the nice guy, always wanting to bring people together, not like this guy that's like going to be aggressive leader that we kind of want to see him kind of turn into. Maybe he's turning into this guy now. Like, he was, we still forget how young Giannis really is, even though he is a 2-time NBA MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He's still a really young guy. And I think maybe now we're starting to see this transition where he turns on his little Jordan a little bit, on his LeBron James a little bit, and starts getting a little more mad or a little bit more aggressive. And I love it. I hope we see more of it.
Yeah, I love it too, and I'm 100% with you. One of the things that I think people like Giannis so much, because they do see the nice, soft guy and the leader. But you and I feel like we've been watching basketball enough that we're like, you got to cuss out at least one person a week. Like, and if you don't, I don't know how I feel about you.
Right? Is your head really in the game if you haven't just went off on somebody?
On somebody?
Yeah. Mad.
Once a week.
Bro, at least one punch in your career, something has to happen.
Right. All right. And then when Blake comes over, you can just dab him up and it's cool and it's cool. Devin, I want to ask you, though, do you think that this is a bad look, or do you agree with Britt and I that it's a good look for him, even though it might slightly taint his nice guy image? I don't think anybody should strive to have a nice guy image in the NBA, but, that's just me.
No, I don't think this is a bad look, although it does always surprise me when he gets heated like this and when he gets confrontational, because even though we've seen this side of him before, it always is just kind of like, oh, Giannis has kind of got it in him a little bit, it's like this unexpected thing, but I think it's good. We've always talked about how we like it when athletes go at one another, and when they do have these beefs, it makes it more fun to watch the game, because that there might be a little bit of drama, there might be some confrontation that goes down, so I like seeing this side of Giannis. It just is always a tiny bit of a surprise.
Yeah, me too. I love it. I can't wait to see more of it. I can't wait to see it if maybe it happens against the Lakers, so that would be fun, because I don't know who he's going to really talk stuff to. Maybe Caruso. He could talk stuff to Alex Caruso. That would be funny. But anyway, so this last one, for those of you who are all in your feelings in the chat, this one should at least make you smile, because this is an amazing, amazing story, and I love it so much because it just really speaks to his character. So first, let me tell you how amazing it is that Devontae Smith won the Heisman Trophy. First, he is Alabama's third Heisman Trophy winner, and he's only the fourth wide receiver in history to win the trophy. Since 2000, actually, there have only been three. There have been three non-quarterbacks who won the Heisman Trophy. All of the other people were running backs, and of the last 10 winners, Alabama's Derrick Henry in 2015 was the only running back to win since that time. So here's the fun fact about this that I think a lot of people kind of gloss over. But the last time a wide receiver won was in 1991. That's the last time a wide receiver won the Heisman Trophy, which is crazy to me, because that's what every offense needs, is a dope wide receiver. But aside from all the awesomeness of who he is as a person, he really kind of fulfilled the dream of one of his professors. She wrote this long dissertation, which I am not going to get into, but it's really beautiful. So if you want to go on Twitter and find it, just do that. But she talks about how he used to come into her class every day, sit in the front row. He was really excited to learn. And then one day she just told him, hey, in my life, I would love to actually just really kind of stand on the field and be on the field during a game, not like when people are practicing or when the field is closed. I'd love to do it during a game. And then I think 2 weeks later, he was named Athlete of the Week, which meant he could bring someone onto the field with him. And he sent her this really touching note, and it was her. He says, "Thank you for everything you do for me and for all the students in the class. You make the class really interesting. Hope you enjoy your sideline experience. Thank you, Devontae Smith." I think this just really speaks to who he is as a person. I thought this was so sweet and so admirable. Devin, what do you think? It made her day, obviously, because she posted about it. But if it was you, would you be totally surprised that here's this guy on his way to the NFL and he actually listened to what you said and cared enough about it to make your dream come true?
Oh, yeah. I feel like something like that is a huge surprise. I mean, even when you get the smallest amount of attention from somebody in the public eye, especially positive attention, it's so meaningful. So I really appreciate this as well, and definitely think it would be a big surprise, a great one.
Yeah, I can't wait till he goes into the league and sees. I think he's going to instantly be a leader, and his generosity is just going to probably start from day one. But I did skip one, and I probably skipped it because mentally I just don't want to look at it. But we all know that wrestling is fake, okay? We know that. I am not taking anything away from the athleticism of these wrestlers, because they definitely are athletic, especially when you consider all that they do and they don't kill themselves half the time. So yes, they are athletic, but it's fake to me. I think one of them should spend a little bit more time with Snoop before he gets back in the ring, because this looked too fake. It didn't look real at all. I was disappointed, but check out Snoop and his WWE appearance.
They're positioning Serpentico. Get him, Snoop. What you gonna do? Go get him, what Snoop. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, baby. Snoop splash.
He had to put his leg up like, "Here, Snoop, don't forget to take my leg." That's part of it. I hate this in every way possible. He almost fell when he stood up on the little ring. Like, look at he looks like Uncle Snoop at this point. You look like a real life uncle, like shouldn't be jumping off. And he's like, don't forget my leg. Don't take the leg. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much. But it's funny. It made us all laugh and got us away from all the extras. But shout out to Snoop, though, because he's milking his sports life to death, and good for him. So before I get out of here, though, let's get into what we not gonna do, because this one is actually a salute. I'm actually really impressed at the swiftness of action on this one, because I did not expect it. I expected to talk about this today, but I thought I was going to be talking about the fake apologies, and that is not what I'm talking about at all. So I have no doubt that this football coach, he probably has an offspring or somebody who tried to storm the Capitol. So let me introduce you to this man. Here he is. This is Chris Malone. He is the assistant offensive line coach for University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. The graduation rate there is 44%, so it's a very smaller school. It's not a big name school, but he has a history. You know, in his little card there, you can see it says this is his second season there. He spent 3 seasons with another school. So in this case, I just don't feel like enough due diligence was done. I feel like a lot of us, when we apply for jobs, one of the things that they ask us for is our social media, which is why people have like 9-10 social media accounts. Some of those are for work, some of those are so they can kind of express who they really are. But he posted this thing that I think is crazy, because this is his tweet. You guys all know what was happening in Georgia with the runoff and how important that was, and we all know how important Stacey Abrams was with that. So once that actually was successful, he decided to tweet, congratulations to the state, he left out of, congratulations to the state of Georgia and Fat Albert, Stacey Abrams, because you have truly shown America the true works of cheating in an election. Again, enjoy the buffet, big girl. You earned it. Hope the money was good. Still not governor. This always perplexes me. Not racist attitudes. Racist attitudes don't perplex me at all. But it always perplexes me when I see people like this man, people like Mike Ditka, Brett Favre, and unfortunately my quarterback, Drew Brees, who seem to have these deep-seated views that are founded in racism. It confuses me, because these are men that have to work with black men to try to win a championship, build a team, build camaraderie so they can go out there and play together. So this always perplexes me when I see this kind of thing from coaches and players, because I don't understand how you can work side by side with somebody who's black and feel this way. So like I said, today I did think I was going to be talking about his fake apology. He did not delete the tweet. He deleted his entire Twitter. He was like, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to delete the entire Twitter. And I thought I'd probably hear some fake apology. It's like, oh, I was kidding or I was joking. But that is not what happened. He was fired almost immediately. He posted that on the 5th. He was fired late yesterday, so it only took him a day to fire him. And then the university's head coach, Rusty Wright, he said in a statement, quote, he said, our football program has a clear set of standards. Those standards include respecting others. It's a message that we deliver to our players daily. It is a standard I will never waver on. What was posted on social media by a member of my staff is unacceptable and not part of what I stand for or what this football team stands for. Life is bigger than football. As leaders of young men, we have to set an example first and foremost. With that said, effective immediately, that individual is no longer part of my staff. I like that so much, that statement, because there was a little bit of shade at the end. That individual. I'm not even going to name you. I'm just going to call you that individual over there. I like this. I applaud them so quickly. But what we not going to do is not do our due diligence. I feel like people like this, if you dig further enough in their past, if you do a little bit of research, like I said, check their social media, talk to friends, talk to players from their former colleges or jobs or whatever, I feel like you would get a hint of this is who that person is supposed to be. And I feel like these colleges need to do more due diligence, because this isn't the first time we've heard about a coach having racist tendencies. And I feel like when you are working with black men, you should be free of those tendencies. So I feel like what we're not going to do is not realize the world that we live in, not realize the country we live in. And if we're going to have these people leading black men and kind of shaping them for their future, we need to do more due diligence and make sure sure that they are on the up and up with what they need to do. But Britt, I want to go to you really quickly. How do you feel about this immediate firing? Were you surprised to see something like that?
I think the coach was probably more surprised than I was because I think he obviously, like we talked about with the white privilege stuff, he posted that thinking that he was not going to get fired for it. And obviously we've seen moments before when I believe it was the Oklahoma coach earlier in the year when he, his team was saying that they don't want to play for him if he's going to, because he posted a shirt of that network or whatever that's super racist and whatever, and he was wearing that shirt. And he didn't get fired for that. So I think he probably was just like, oh, I'm not going to get fired. But how could you post that and not think that you're going to get fired? Number one, on top of everything, you're disrespecting a woman, and you're supposed to be this leader for these guys. And then Stacey, people are about to come for you. And then especially with this election, this was a first time a Jewish man became senator of a state, and the first time a black man became senator of a state. And then, but you're still not governor. I don't know. It was just for him to not even think that he was going to get fired, to even be okay to post that. In 2021, I don't know. That's just crazy. But I'm not surprised that he was fired. I feel like now is the moment where you have to just start making examples of people, because people believe that they can just do whatever they want and be okay. I bet you Piano Elizabeth is not going to go to another takedown because she does not want to get maced. She learned her lesson. A lot of these people ain't about that life. They think they are, but they're about it because they think nothing's going to happen to them. But when something does, they're done. They're never going to come back. So I think this is the last time he's going to post something crazy like that, because now he knows better. But this is also the last time he's probably going to have a job in football, because now people are starting to do those background checks. There are so many people that it's the nepotism and all these different things that have continued to have people be coaches and be in situations for years and years just because, my dad coached here and my uncle got me this job when I was 20 and I've just been working here for 40 years. So a lot of those moments were missed when the hiring process happened. But that's I think going to be a thing of the past. Coaches now literally are going to be reviewed as if they're about to be president of the United States. There's going to be
they should be, yeah.
And it's going to be this whole thing. So he's not going to get another job. I'm almost certain of it. But it's funny that he thought that he could just write that and keep his job is the funny part.
Devin, I want to go to you for really quickly. I agree with Britt. I don't think he'll ever get a job, but I wouldn't be surprised, because there are so many people in the world that do share his viewpoint. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a college, especially in the South, that kind of shares his viewpoint and then will overlook it. How would he explain himself to his black players if he were to get a job and this comes out? Because it would.
I mean, I feel like he would do what anybody else in this position has done in the past when they are caught saying something just dreadfully racist and misogynistic. He'd probably say, oh, it was a lapse in judgment and I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it never changes. You said what you said. You knew what you were doing. You felt confident enough to post it in a public forum when you're in kind of a public position. So for me, it's just nothing that he could say in the future could ever take away from the fact that he did have this sentiment. And, at least people know. So if he does get another job, at least the players know. I would feel bad for the players that would be having to work under him, but at least everyone knows. And that's all I can really say on that.
I concur, but that's it for what we not gonna do. Get your water bottle ready. I'm gonna get you a real mic. I should have gotten you one for Christmas. Christmas just really came and gone, and I ain't got you no mic or nothing. But I'm gonna get you one, girl, because now it's time for Britt's takes.
Britt's takes.
All right, guys, it is time for Britt's Take. Today, I got to talk about a situation with my Dallas Cowboys, but in particularly the brother of a Dallas Cowboy. So this is going to be fans versus family. So we have situations that we have heard about in the past that have happened with players and fans that happened to end up being family members. We remember when Matt Barnes and James Harden's mom got in a situation. Matt Barnes called her the B word because she looked like she was just a regular lady on the sideline cussing him out during a game. Little did he know that that was James Harden's mama. We've had other moments where, wives are super fans, like D Wade's wife, Gabrielle Union. She actually was booted out of courtside seats and was not allowed to ever sit courtside again. This is not a stadium or arena thing. This is something D Wade had put on her because she would be screaming so loud and cussing everybody out on the other team during games. Because she's a fan. She is not just a family member, a loved one, his wife. She is a fan. Just like James Harden's mom, she loves the game. She is a fan. So a lot of times there is a fine line between just being a family and also being a fan of the game. And somebody that is a big fan of the game is Tad Prescott, which is Dak's older brother. Now, he is such a big fan of the game. He does fantasy. He posted this a couple days ago or last week and said, "Lost my fantasy championship. Worst part, I left enough points on the bench to win the thing. I feel like I could throw up." He is a huge fan of sports. Like, this is not like I personally don't play fantasy because I feel like it takes away from me watching my Cowboys and just cheering for my Cowboys. And I hate like having to cheer for other people or say another team. I have another team's defense and they're playing against my Cowboys. And it's just like this whole thing that I don't even want to deal with because I love my Cowboys so much. But he is obviously supposed to be a Cowboys fan because his brother plays for the Cowboys. And so you would think the fantasy thing would kind of like not be great. Well, he's actually not a Cowboys fan. He has gone on record several times talking about his dislike for the Dallas Cowboys, but in particularly Dallas Cowboys fans. So much so, recently there were rumors that circulated that he was trying to get Dak to leave Dallas. He responded to somebody that had talked about that and said this: "With that being said, and you seeing how wrong you are, I'm now being cussed because apparently I'm telling Dak to leave Dallas. This game is also a business. I will always look out for the best interest of my brother." And again, Tad is the bigger brother here. Like, he is not the little brother. He is the big brother. Dak is actually the baby of the family. He has Tad, his other brother Jace, we remember, died in 2020. And then he also has another half brother from his dad. And then he also has a sister as well. And they are all older than him. He is the baby of the bunch. So, of course, everybody looks out for Dak and everybody is trying to make sure Dak is good because Dak has potentially what could be a very lucrative and successful career ahead of him. We still forget that he is still a young guy and he has a lot of football to still be played. So, Tad, after that, more Cowboys fans went in and he posted this. He said, "This is what so-called Dallas Cowboys fans send me. Yet some wonder why I'm not a huge fan of this fan base. I've never said anything about the team, organization, or owners. It's y'all, me, I'm a Cowboys fan too, that I have the biggest problem with, and he's not the only one. I have hundreds." Now, he posted this following this. This is the DM that he had gotten, and basically it was just a fan named Joe, and he was like, "You can go F yourself, F face." First of all, like, how old are you? Dak doesn't deserve a shit brother like you. He deserves better. He probably wishes you were, this is bad. He probably wishes you were the one to die and not Jace. Jace was a good person and a way better brother than you'll ever be. Oh my gosh, this is not Dallas Cowboys fans. I don't know what kind of guy this is. Cowboys fans are a lot of things, but like the disrespect like this, Cowboys fans are loyal. We can be annoying because we always think we're going to win. We only care about our Cowboys. We can be all of that kind of stuff, but like I've never seen a Cowboys fan, especially talk about one of the Cowboys players, family members like that ever. Like, we consider I see a Cowboys like decal, on a car, and I'm like, look at my family, that's my family over there. Like, we family, we all family, we like best friends. Like, I think every Cowboys person is part of my family. And so I don't know if this is like a real Cowboys fan, but that was like sick, disgusting. But there was another one. There was one more that I wanted to show you that Tad also posted about this morning. And he said, I don't have to label you, Todd. Tweets like this make my point for me, because he got into it with somebody. Todd had posted and said to Tad in this situation, speaking as a Cowboys fan, we love our quarterback, but are quite sick of being labeled incorrectly by his publicity whore brother.
Come on,
Tad. I think including the Cowboys fans in what that one guy posted probably is not the best thing, because again, Cowboys fans, we're family. We're always gonna like stick together, and we always like feel like love and loyalty towards each other. So in this situation, don't come for Cowboys fans. Also, that person that posted that is not what the Cowboys fan base is. Like, I'm sure you have, as all of us, I get terrible tweets in my thing. People tell me to kill myself all the time. Like, there are crazy things that you get in your social media, and you do have a following. You're not like this brother that is behind the scenes. Like, you have over like 40,000 followers, I think, on your Twitter, which is more than I have. And you have a decent Instagram following too. So just take those little things and just ignore those things. But that is like, to then say the Cowboy fan base is this way and like that's why you want your brother to leave is kind of crazy. Devin, I'm going to go to you first here. Do you think, because we talk a lot about the say less or let it out there kind of thing, do you think Tad should have just kept that message that he got to himself in a way that he should have not maybe like said, these are what Cowboys fans send me, like kind of including Cowboys fans in a whole? Or do you think that he should have let people know and then feel the way he feels about Cowboys fans because of that message?
I mean, I think that I don't love the idea of generalizing an entire fan base and saying this is why I'm encouraging my brother to leave or whatever. But I think that one message that he did convey that I thought was important was that he said, I go where he goes. Like, I'm a Dak fan at the end of this. So, and I think that that's what people need to remember. And the messages that he was sharing from fans, I mean, a lot of them were just, like you said, were so awful. And I feel like when people are willing to send a message like that, they should be put on blast, but that obviously doesn't mean that the entire Cowboys fan base is like that. So I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle on this one between the say less and the say more. I respect that he just wants what's best, but I also think that he shouldn't say like, oh, the Cowboys fans suck or whatever. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I can't say I'm on one side or the other.
Yeah, Jackie, as a former Cowboys fan, yes, you guys, Jackie used to be a Cowboys fan. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is the Cowboys fan? Because it was interesting that he said that he doesn't have a problem with the owners and whatever, because that's the reason why you're not a Cowboys fan anymore, is because the owner thing. What did you feel as far as the fan bases? Obviously, I know you think we're annoying now because you're not a Cowboys fan, but like when you were a Cowboys fan, I know you left because of the ownership, not the fan base. What do you think? Is the fan base more like the post that he showed us of that guy, or do you think that that was kind of like a one-off situation?
I mean, I knew we were annoying when I was a Cowboy fan. Cowboy fans are kind of annoying. I was annoying. I was over the top. I was, so I get it. I'm over the top now, so I think it's just one of those fan bases, but I think he's got to learn to kind of take things on the chin. I mean, the majority of DMs, I had to change my whole settings on my Instagram because the majority of the DMs that I get are very hateful, you know what I mean? And I have like my core people who always come. It's like their spidey senses go off and like, oh, she probably got a ton of hate mail today. Let me just say what's up. So I have my core people and then I have my haters. But at the end of the day, you have to kind of take it on the chin. It's kind of like Yelp. You got to consider fans like Yelp. Most people don't go on to Yelp and say, this experience was amazing. They only go on there when they have something bad to say. So there's probably way more of the fan base that think very highly of you, that they appreciate that you're there for your brother, especially considering the loss that you guys have. There's probably way more fans like that, but you don't hear from them because they only have good things to say. So they don't say hateful stuff, you know. So that's just the way life is right now. So you kind of got to learn how to take things on the chin, maybe do what I do, change your setting, and then, but you know, I'm with him putting people on blast. I'm all for that, but I'm definitely against him grouping, you know, the entire fan base into one thing, because I know you would never say anything like that. I know all of my friends who are Cowboy fans would probably come to his defense right now. They probably have never DM'd him and said, you know, I think you are a really good brother. They've never done that, but they'll step up right now and be like, you know, this is out of line. So
come here.
Right.
I'll rub your little back, whatever you need, boo boo. And then hook me up with your brother after, okay?
Right.
I'll be the best sister-in-law you ever had.
Exactly. Get you a piano scarf and everything. But, you know, so he just got to learn to take it on the chin. Be like, I don't know what happened. That's what he needs to do.
Yes, I agree. I think you're going to just get stuff like this. It's going to happen. Get over it. It's not the Cowboys fan base at all. And coming for the Cowboys fan base will then just make the Cowboys fan base not like you because we don't feel like you're loyal or love us. So just maybe say less just because you don't want to end up losing the rest of us that actually do like you, Tad. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Britt's takes. Okay, you guys, let's wrap up this show today. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below. We're going to be back for our Friday show at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, so make sure you tune in, and we'll see you guys then. Have a great day, everybody. Don't send mean DMs. Bye. Be a nice. Wear a mask and wash your hands. Bye.
We haven't washed our hands all year. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh no. That's why I was coughing earlier. Under the arms, all the areas. Get all the areas.
In between all the crevices.
Right?